Hi, everybody. My name's Violet, but this story isn't really about me. It's about my little sister Helen and how my parents' mistake almost led to something terrible. Our life was quite okay. Well, like everyone else's. My family comes from the South, so my parents had quite a hot liver. Sometimes they argued. They'd shout at each other, but anyway, it was more or less okay. As girls, we were spoiled by everyone in turn, Mom and Dad and Grandma, and our aunt and uncle living next to us. But still, they'd scold me despite the fact that I was almost an adult. I was 17, and they fussed over my sister. Helen was the light of our life. No sarcasm. She's really very cool. I'm not jealous for her in any way. I'm not jealous of her in any way, because we have a 12-year age gap. And for me, she's not even a sister. She's kinda like my kid. I think I brought her up when the others would let me. But despite the fact that we all pampered her, she's still very cool. She's a sunshine. She's never been noisy. She's always obeyed our parents and grew up very smart. I'd even say precocious. Her hugs and smiles are out of question. She always did this. She loved even her tutors, and she doesn't quarrel with other kids. So her teachers called her a magistrate, because she reconciles everyone. Anyway, she's a quiet and happy kid, not causing any troubles. I don't live with my parents anymore. I'm in college, so I live on campus. It's easier for me to get to class from there. Well, I also want to feel an adult life. But at the weekend, I always come home to help my parents and see my sister. And here, I noticed Helen was quite sad. She just waved me away when I asked her what the matter was. She said everything was fine, but I saw something was wrong. And each time, it only got worse. Helen started to shudder. She was afraid of sharp sounds, and she cried at night. But she didn't even cry when she was a little kid. And then she became like this. At first, I thought she was being bullied in kindergarten. Well, kids might be bad. Or maybe she had a fight with someone and didn't tell us. So I missed my classes one day on purpose. And I went to kindergarten to ask what was going on. The teacher said, yeah, they had an aggressive boy. He would both push and bite people. But he never laid a finger on Helen. It was she who laid a finger on him when he was too aggressive. And he was afraid of Helen. So he calmed down at once. I was happy for my sister. But it didn't get any better, because she literally turned into a shadow of her former self for a month. Mom also tried to figure out what was wrong. Dad too. Our ideas were already more like paranoid delusions. They reached the climax when we realized that she was afraid of Dad. Our dad's the best dad ever. He can't even say no to women. He waited on Helen and me, hand and foot. We're only to while away the time. Toys, sweets, theme parks. Yeah, even if we begged for the moon, he'd do it. He never spoke in a level voice with us, and he didn't punish us or something like that. Yeah, and with Mom, he was always a gentleman, always in love. And here, she simply started avoiding him. We thought some man had hurt her, 'cause she avoided her uncle whom she used to adore. But there were no options. She never stayed alone with someone else. Yeah, and she gave the most strange reaction to Dad. Mom took her to the psychologist, and she said the girl was undergoing some kind of psychological trauma. That's where it hit us all. We moved to the frank interrogation, and Helen finally cracked. She said she was afraid of Daddy because he hurt Mom, and so he'd hurt Helen herself. We all rolled our eyes seriously, and Helen went on. Dad beat Mom and punished her, and Mom screamed because it hurt. When we asked when it happened, she shrugged and fell silent. Everyone just got stunned. Even if a bomb fell nearby, we all wouldn't notice it. Well, there was no such thing. Okay, I couldn't know much. Okay, Dad's a suspect, but Mom definitely wouldn't have forgotten if Dad laid hands on her. Anyway, somehow Helen said she went for some water to the kitchen at night, and on the way there, she heard some moans from my parents' room. Well, she looked in, and there was Dad punishing Mom. On this part of the story, I was just rolling on the floor laughing. Frankly speaking, I don't know how my parents were going to explain to our little curious kid that Mom wasn't moaning because of pain. I preferred not to listen to this, not to die from laughter, but they seemed to convince her, 'cause Helen stopped being afraid of Daddy, and soon she became herself again, a happy little kid. And she doesn't ask about birds and bees anymore. And my parents hung up a latch in their room to lock it from some impressionable kids at night. Recently, he hung it in my room too, for the future. And what? I want my sister to be happy. That's my story, guys. Lock your doors at night if you don't want your little secrets discovered by your curious family. Write in the comments if you have younger brothers and sisters. Like my story if you were ever caught in such things. And share how you got out of it. And take care of your kids. They still have to grow up. They'll have time to get the experience in every sense of the word.